Good morning, and thank you for joining the Community Ledger. Today I have a lot to discuss. You know, all of the ladies over at The View lost their minds yesterday. They are still in meltdown over the Kamala Harris loss, but I want to talk about it because it shows exactly how disillusioned these women are with reality. And so we're going to jump into the video so we can talk about it. Let's check it out.
Nobody who is struggling to make ends meet at the table, like how am I going to pay this bill, cares what Wharton professors say about the economy.
With misinformation.
And just one more thing I want to say. This issue of abortion, which I hope we can unpack more, there are a lot of women who cared about abortion, but they were in states like Pennsylvania where they don't have an ultra-restrictive abortion law. They were voting more because they're like pocketbook issues matter more than if a woman in Alabama is able to get an abortion.
But they're going to do worse under a Trump administration. The only people that are going to do well are the millionaires and the billionaires.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
So as you can see there, Sunny is incredibly disillusioned with reality. She has decided that all of the Hispanics and all of the people that voted for Trump have done so because they're all racist and misogynistic. And logically, that makes sense to her. Here it is, you have someone on the panel who has a conservative view stating people care about pocketbook issues. That's the economy. That's inflation. They care about the border. She's like, no, no, it was misogyny. It was misogyny.
And can always say, oh, she should have done this. She should have done this. She did what she did. She was everywhere. She talked to everybody. And people didn't come out. I don't know why. And it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name. That's not going to change.
Yeah. I have faith that some good, decent people are going to work for him. I've heard from some folks today. I think there's some reasons to be hopeful that people who believe in public service in the country are going to go in.
The thing that I wanted to finish up with is it's hard for some of us to hear that rhetoric.
Yeah.
After 50 years, you know, after 70 years, to hear that rhetoric coming back, to hear things that came out of people's mouths, that we all decided as a public group, we weren't going to talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
So for me, when I hear that, I feel okay when I'm pissed at somebody who's talking down to somebody else. I'm all right with that. What I'm not all right with is trying to further wreck the country. So that's why everything that everyone is saying at the table really comes down to, listen, we're still here. People, when I got out of the car today, because nobody will let me drive, I saw mailmen, people with their kids. I saw people walking around, looking, you know, drinking the coffee stuff from Starbucks. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so I never remember. But I saw people living their lives, and that's what we have to do. And when things get to be so bright that we see them, we got to call them out.
Yes.
You have to call them out.
And no one's going to be storming the Capitol.
Yes.
You know what gets me? The exit polls showed, according to our research department here at ABC News, the state of democracy was the top issue to voters overall. So that says that they voted for a guy who wanted to overthrow the election, who also said he would be a dictator on day one, and they also said that democracy was #1. So I'm concluding that maybe they don't believe him.
But I think it means different things. I think democracy means different things
It means
to different people.
Well, when you're trying to overthrow a legitimate election and you say you're going to be a dictator, I don't know how you interpret that any other way, frankly. So I can only conclude that they don't believe he's going to do that. And I hope they're right. I hope that they are right.
And
Joy, it's condescending. It's condescending. There is a
condescending.
The way that the left speaks to its voters. It really is.
A message of joy and inclusiveness?
No, the message of not being educated, being dumb, and what's wrong with America. Who said that?
Sonny just did.
What is wrong with
Joy,
America?
my point here is that
That's not what Kamala Harris said.
No. But my point is, I don't blame Joe Biden. I don't blame Kamala Harris. Go back as far as you want. I blame a messaging within the Democratic Party.
You don't blame the Republican Party
Can I just finish my point, please? I obviously have a problem. Anyone has a problem with Donald Trump. The bigger question should be, yes, Sonny, why did they vote for him?
Yes.
In sweeping...
So they need to be introspective.
No. We need to be introspective. If we voted for Kamala Harris, we need to say what didn't resonate with the voters.
So you see there. So you see from episode after episode after episode, Sunny is just completely out of her mind. Even Whoopi saying, you know, we all as a collective decided we weren't going to speak to each other this way and bully each other. But Biden just came out and called all of the Trump supporters garbage. Like garbage. And then the day after the election, everyone on The View, well, the majority of the panel is questioning what's wrong with Americans. What is wrong with Americans that they could vote for Trump? You are what's wrong with Americans as to why they voted for Trump. Like, it's very simple. And here Sunny is saying, this young lady is telling her, you know, we need to really evaluate why our candidate didn't win. What are we doing that didn't resonate with the people? And Sunny's like, no, we need to question what's wrong with them. No, you don't need to question what's wrong with us because you lost. Okay, you lost. So if you won, then you could say, okay, what's wrong with the other people who didn't get on board? But you lost. Okay, so you can't do that. You can't get to say what's wrong with the winning team. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even make any sense. And so that's where she is, because she is literally refusing. Like I stated yesterday in one of my videos, they refuse any sort of accountability, She has decided that all of these people voted for Trump because they're all misogynistic and racist. And that is just obscene. Like, that is just so off base. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's hard to even believe that this woman is an educated woman, especially since she likes to call out the uneducated white women who voted for Trump. How can you even be educated and have that argument? That is just ridiculous. 72+ million Americans are misogynistic and racist. So here I am, a black woman. I'm racist and misogynistic. Really? I voted for Trump. So if I'm a black woman, how am I racist? If I'm misogynistic, how? How, Sway? How? You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is they are literally refusing, like the lady said, people care about pocketbook issues. They don't care nothing about that. They're living in their skyrise in New York with their doorman, and their kids go to private school. They don't have to worry about their bills. They don't have to care about food prices. They don't care about none of that. So they just assume you shouldn't care about it either. And she's talking about a party of joy. A party of joy? What are you talking about? That's what Kamala ran on, but it's not a party of joy. Mutilating children for sex change operations is not a party of joy. Spearheading and letting the bulk of your platform be about abortions. And let's not be twisted about what abortion is. It's the termination of a pregnancy, okay? That's joy. That's joyful. We should be joyous about the termination of a pregnancy, and mutilating children, that's joy. Right? So no, you're not a party of joy, ma'am. You're a party of propaganda and destruction. Okay? You allowing all of these people in the border to do heinous things on American dollars, that's not joy. Okay, that's not joy. You spending all this money abroad on all these proxy wars and using tax dollars to do it, to where now the Americans are hurting. Now they can't afford groceries. They can't afford to buy a home. They can't afford their medical bills. They can't afford nothing. Somehow we're supposed to be joyous about that. That's a party of joy. So that right there tells you how disillusioned she is with reality. They live in a totally different bubble. So all the celebrities, they can come out and they can be like, oh yes, oh my God, I'm voting for Kamala for my children. Even that sentiment is just ridiculous to me. I could never imagine saying I'm voting for abortion because I want my daughter to grow up and be able to have an abortion. Like, what? What? I know my daughter no longer has the rights that I have. I have all my life had a right to terminate my pregnancy, and I'm upset that now my daughter doesn't have that right. Are you serious? Are you serious? And to add insult to injury, Those aren't even facts, okay? You can still go get an abortion if you so choose. Sonny lives in New York. If her and her daughter want to go get an abortion right now in the state of New York, baby, you can do so, okay? Ain't nobody took that away from you. And there's a whole host of other states that can do the same. So why did you expect all these millions of women to fight for the right to terminate their pregnancies above how you feed the kids that's sitting at my table right now? How did that make sense to you? And the fact that it made perfect sense to you is the reason why you lost. And the reason why she's saying you need to do some self-reflection. And Sonny's like, no, something's wrong with America. Yeah, 72 million people need to be more focused on the children who've not even crossed over into this realm, more so than they need to worry about the children's well-being and safety that are sitting in your table, at your table right now. Something wrong with us. I mean, it defies logic. It's like, I can't comprehend it. It's like my brain cannot process anything that is just not logical. And I just, for the life of me, I'm trying to see, what are these people seeing? What do they see in this woman and this woman's policies that was so great to where they need to die on that hill? Even for black people, black women. I'm like, this woman who was the VP for, we can say, 4 years now, didn't step foot in Chicago to ask how the black community was doing. She didn't step foot in Atlanta to talk to how the black community was doing. She could give a damn about going to Brooklyn or the Bronx or Queens to find out how black communities were doing. She could give a rat's ass on every day of the week. And y'all gathered up all this money, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, to support somebody who already showed you via their actions that she don't give a damn about you. And now you want to push all this money toward her and push her as being some great, Indian, South Asian hope. Okay? And then got the nerve to be mad when she lost. Because a host of other black people in your same community could see the play. They could see the play. They saw that this woman is a freaking disaster. Look at California. Are you kidding me? Like I've said in other videos, I have family in California. I grew up going to Oakland all the time as a little girl. These people have lived in California their entire lives. It was not until the Biden-Harris administration that they left. They left. They moved out of California in the same manner as a whole lot of other people did, okay? They were like, this is too much. One family was used to their kids going to school. They were used to getting medical exemptions in regards to those vaccines. And as soon as that last vaccine came out and California made it a mandate that all students needed to get it without any sort of medical exemption or else they couldn't go to school, they said, okay, no problem, we'll just move. We'll just leave. But we're not going to put an experimental anything allow anything experimental to be injected into our own bodies, let alone our children, against our will, and just be okay with it. No, we just gonna move to a state where that's not a thing. In the same manner as which you can do, or women can do who want abortions. Like if your state don't allow abortions and you are serious about that being a reality, then baby, just get up and move. It ain't that deep. Get in the car, drive across the state lines, get that thing taken care of, and come back home. Like, I don't understand what they're talking about women's rights. And again, it is not reproductive rights. It is the right to terminate. Okay? I did not have to consult any legal organization. I did not have to consult with any politician or any government official when it came time for me to reproduce. I didn't say, you know what? I think I want to have a baby. Who do I need to contact to make sure that's okay? What are the laws here in the state of New York on whether or not I can get pregnant? It wasn't even a thing. So that means nobody is infringing on your rights, okay? It is your right to terminate. So, the wordplay, the semantics, it ain't flying. And that's the thing. Y'all the Democrats, they just want to push these agendas, and all of their agendas go against the nucleus family. All of their agendas go against reproduction, okay? All of their agendas go against the dismantling of the family. All of them, okay? All of them, whether it be the mutilation of children, once them children's bodies been chopped and screwed, they not reproducing. Those men are not having babies. Those women are not having babies. Okay. Once you talk about women's rights to terminate, that's done. You're not reproducing nothing. Okay. When you talk about LGBTQ and homosexuality, let's just keep the facts what they are. 2 men ain't create no baby and neither are 2 women. Okay. Facts are facts. Okay. Facts are facts. So no matter how you feel about any of these policies, facts are simply facts. Okay? And their entire platform supported and uplifted and pushed all of that. And that's fine if that's what you're interested in. That's not a problem. But you can't get mad at the majority of the American population who ain't with that. They're like, no, that's cool for you, but that ain't what I want for me. And 72+ million people said, that's not what I want for me. That's not what I want for my family. And you just gonna have to settle with that. You just gonna have to accept that. Everybody has free choice. If you choose to live that life, that is your choice. But you cannot infringe upon my rights. And that's what's happening. The Democratic Party wants to overturn all and just turn everything just upside down. And folks, American public got tired of it. They just got tired of it. And as you see, these elites, these Democrats, these insane liberals, they don't get it. They don't get it. And truth be told, it's willful ignorance. It's willful ignorance. They don't want to get it, okay? They don't want to understand the why. They have made a conscious decision to be deaf, dumb, and blind and completely turn away from the issues that most Americans are facing every day. And that's cool. You don't have to pay attention to it. As a Democratic Party, as the women of you don't have to care nothing about it, but just know you're going to keep losing. Just know you're going to keep losing. And that's okay. That's okay. Some people, some organizations are okay with being losers. They are. The Giants keep putting out Daniel Jones and got rid of Saquon Barkley. So the Giants are okay with being a losing team. Okay? It happens. It happens. And so at this point in time, the fact that the Democratic Party has chosen to not really evaluate itself and evaluate the lack thereof with regards to policies that actually affected most Americans, then you're just going to keep losing. And you're going to, at some point, you're just going to have to accept that. You're just going to have to be okay with that, okay? And the moment you decide you no longer want to be on the losing side, then you're going to have to look in the mirror. You're just going to have to look in the mirror. And until that happens, the Republicans going to control the Senate. It's looking like they may control the House. They control in the executive branch, and they're gonna be in power for some time, okay? Because the American people have had enough. They've had enough. We have had enough, okay? And so, what say you? What is your opinion about these crazy cackling hens on The View and their sentiments toward what Americans really want? Do you agree? Are most people just misogynistic and racist, and that's why we voted for Trump? Is that genuinely what people are feeling? I don't think that's accurate, but I would love to hear your opinion. So if you have not already, please do like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you for joining me. My name is Andrea Banu, and this is the Community Ledger.